I will start off lightly by just wanting to know what your top 3 Robbie Williams songs are. Which is it's a hard question.
Yeah, it's changed
Simple but hard.
since working on the film. So Rock DJ, I
Love
love
it.
the production.
I'm obsessed with it right now.
And I love the new production that Ariza did on that. It sort of has these Earth, Wind and Fire horns, and he's a bass player, so he just has the funkiest bass lines that he's put into it. That Come Undone.
Oh, okay.
I love that production of Come Undone. And then Let Me Entertain You, because that's kind of like, if I had a favorite from before the film, it was probably Let Me Entertain You.
Yeah, that's a great one. They're pretty much all in my playlist on repeat and on repeat right now. Jumping into Better Man, it is very unique in a lot of ways, more than just the monkey in the room. I was wondering, how do you go about telling this story and sort of keeping to the biographical accuracy of Robbie's life, but also interpreting it for like an audience and for entertainment purposes, if you know what I mean?
It's a good question. Like, Rob has an amazing life, and the way he tells it is something that I really love, the way in which he narrates his own life. So from these original recordings that we did, I actually ended up using a lot of them in the voiceover for the film.
Yeah.
And so they weren't scripted. That's just Rob talking. And then, then the work on the script, both, Simon Gleason and Oliver Cole, who worked on the script with me, it was about folding in moments. So there's too much to tell in one film.
Yeah.
And so you end up taking these moments and you go, well, we love this and we love that, but let's just make that one scene.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of folded in moments. There's folded in characters. Nate, who represents his best friend, is actually 3 different guys.
Oh, okay.
But we just folded it into one. So things like that, and it's sort of it's what you need to do to tell the story.
Yeah.
But you're always trying to be truthful about those moments. Like. And it is definitely a story told from the perspective of Rob.
Yeah.
And there's always there's someone's perspective, and then there's the truth.
Yes. Okay. Well, I noticed that in the final sort of sequence where he sings "My Life," when I was looking back on the actual performance, he doesn't actually get Peter up.
No.
But in the movie, he does get Peter up. I assume that's where you sort of bring the two things together, the accuracy and what it represents, but then you mix it with that artistic interpretation.
Perfect example. So there is multiple performances where he brings his dad up on stage.
Yeah.
And, you can watch them on YouTube.
He did Sweet Caroline and
and there's
an abundance of things.
There's multiple. I saw him in Vegas doing it with his dad.
Okay.
So, and he sang My Way. So I've seen him perform that number with his dad on stage. But for dramatic purposes, putting it in such an iconic setting like Royal Albert Hall felt like...
It's also the culmination of his journey across the whole film,
exactly.
Really, and his relationship with his
dad,
of course.
that scene was about making peace with his dad and making peace with himself. And so it just sort of...
it's an amazing
narratively,
sequence.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about casting, but not about Robbie, more about Take That. How did you go about finding your Gary, Mark, Jason and Howard, where not only do they look like literally perfect, ripped from the past, but they also feel like Take That on screen as well?
That was so difficult finding those boys. And, we did an exhaustive search both in Australia and the UK for them. And I'm so happy with them. It's crazy, you're right, how much they sort of embody them. And they really, what was great is that they were sort of thrown into it, kind of like the Take That boys. And they are young guys. And so they've just got this energy and this youthfulness that just comes across that is very faithful to what the Take That boys are. And in the first week, we were throwing them up on stage. Robbie came to Australia and we put on these concerts in these huge arenas.
Yeah.
And Robbie would literally say, now, for my film, the Take That boys are going to come on stage and I want you to, cheer and scream as if it's me aged 16 up here.
Yeah.
And then these boys would run out on stage and they're performing, but they're literally performing in front of a packed stadium of people.
Yeah.
And those people are going crazy. And so the sort of adrenaline in their eyes, it's all real, But all of them, I'm so grateful for those boys. They really came together like a closely knit group.
take that.
Yeah, they really did.
Well, one of the things I really find fascinating and I love about the film when I watch it, I've seen it twice. It's so good.
You've seen it twice?
Seen it twice so far.
man. Good
Hopefully
on
a
you.
third time soon. But I love this it looks almost like a 90s documentary in a way. It's quite grainy and it's quite soft. What was the choice to go that approach rather than sort of a sharp and digital look to it?
Yeah, so that is, Eric Wilson, the cinematographer, is phenomenal. He's done small films like Submarine, which is a beautiful little British film, and he's also done Paddington.
Yes.
So he's shot digital characters and he's done very handheld, observed, beautiful, indie films. And so it's a combination of the choices he made with lenses, and we went with a lot of vintage lenses that give it the more sort of softer classical look where it's falling off at the edges. And then Photochem in LA printed out the film
Oh, okay.
to 35 mil.
Oh, wow, okay. So it's very authentic as well.
Yeah, and so it's actually, we did different film stocks for different stages of the film.
Okay.
Which is why it's grainier at the start of the film.
Yeah,
and
because
less
it's
grainy at the end.
really nice. But
Yeah.
I think that's a wrap on me, so thank you so much.
So good to
I
meet you,
really
man.
do appreciate
Yeah.
it.